Established 5 years ago, the John F. Kennedy Service Awards are given once every 5 years to 2 current Peace Corps volunteers, 2 returned Peace Corps volunteers, and 2 Peace Corps staff members. At a gathering to commemorate the 35th anniversary of the Peace Corps 15 years ago, my father said that the Peace Corps' real history lies not in the story of its birth, but in the story of its life. Not in the archives of the White House or Capitol Hill or even the Kennedy Library, but in the deeds of its volunteers, in their fulfillment of President Kennedy's original mandate. And so today, we compare the hopes of the original dreamer with the experiences of those who are living out the dream today. The following 6 recipients best exemplify the Peace Corps in furthering its mission and the 3 goals. We honor their hard work, their sacrifice, and their outstanding service to the Peace Corps, both in the United States and abroad. Here to present the awards, please welcome once again Caroline Kennedy and Director Aaron S. Williams. Our first recipient, a Connecticut native and former U.S. Marine Corps helicopter pilot, began his Peace Corps service in Mexico in October of 2007. He spent 2 years in rural Veracruz, using his business management background to help companies compete and adopt sustainable forestry practices. He extended his service to become a volunteer leader of the Peace Corps' only technology transfer program, while also developing training programs for new volunteers. He is currently a special advisor to the Director of Technology at one of Mexico's national laboratories. Not only that, this recipient has traveled throughout the United States to discuss his experiences in Mexico, educating Americans on the missions, efforts, and successes of the Peace Corps. When asked by a colleague how a former Marine becomes a Peace Corps volunteer, this award recipient said, "A person joins the Marines and the Peace Corps for the same reason, the opportunity to make a difference." Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first recipient, currently serving in Mexico, Robert Ferguson. Our second recipient, a San Diego, California native, is currently serving in Romania as a 4th-year Peace Corps volunteer leader. As a community economic development volunteer affiliated with Habitat for Humanity in Romania, he has worked on capacity building, including helping to plan a local event where 500 volunteers built 10 homes in 1 month, makes my head spin, in an impoverished neighborhood. This project earned the community of Oradea, Romania, the title of National Capital of Volunteerism. Meanwhile, Habitat for Humanity International recently honored this recipient with its Volunteering with Excellence Award, given to just 3 volunteers annually. This volunteer epitomizes the spirit of Peace Corps' 3 goals through his work and proven track record for impact, promotion, and innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate our second Peace Corps volunteer recipient, Chris Fontanesi. Our next category is the Peace Corps staff category. Our first recipient began her 4-decade-long career with the Peace Corps in 1968 as a language teacher in Guatemala. Since that time, she has worked with no fewer than 16 different Guatemala country directors, persevering through a massive earthquake and years of civil unrest. She has served in a variety of roles in Peace Corps Guatemala, including traveling throughout the region to provide administrative technical assistance to other posts. In 1971, she became the executive officer for Peace Corps Guatemala, a position she held for no less than 30 years until a short-lived attempt at retirement in 2001. By 2002, she missed her work with Peace Corps and returned as a roving expert consultant in the Inter-American and Pacific region. This award recipient helped to open posts in Mexico and Peru and has traveled to over 26 posts in her new capacity to provide technical advice. In 2006, she started her current assignment as the lead facilitator for administrative track of overseas staff training. As a teacher and mentor, she has touched the entire Peace Corps community. As a Guatemalan national, she has shared her country and language and culture with countless Peace Corps volunteers and staff. Please welcome and congratulate Frances Asturias. Our second Peace Corps Staff Award recipient comes from none other than my own country of service, Morocco. He left his position as the head of the Rural Water and Sanitation Unit in Morocco's Ministry of Public Health in 1992 to join the staff of Peace Corps Morocco. Since then, he has coordinated the Peace Corps Health Program in Morocco and currently works as program manager of the health sector and as HIV/AIDS Initiative Coordinator. This award recipient was instrumental in developing the Maternal and Child Health Project in which I and many other volunteers served in rural Morocco, as well as the current Rural Community Health Project. In 2006, he initiated the cross-sector HIV/AIDS Task Force of Peace Corps Morocco and continues to help volunteers and staff integrate HIV/AIDS awareness and training into their activities. Returned Peace Corps volunteers who have worked with him note qualities to which I can personally attest and remember vividly: his patience, kindness, impressive work ethic, and dedication to preparing Peace Corps volunteers for the field. For all of these qualities, we are delighted, and it is my personal honor to recognize Mostafa Lamqaddam, Peace Corps Staff Morocco. And now we come to the Returned Peace Corps Volunteers category, our final category for the John F. Kennedy Awards. The first recipient hails from Defuniak Springs, Florida. She has served as a Peace Corps volunteer not once but twice. First in Sierra Leone from 1968 to 1969, a country in which volunteers have recently returned. And again in Jamaica from 1984 to 1987. She has spent much of her career with the Special Olympics, promoting self-esteem, social skills, physical fitness, and increased independence for people with intellectual disabilities. Following her service in Jamaica, this volunteer worked for Special Olympics in North Carolina. When she returned to the Peace Corps in the 1980s, at the personal request of Sergeant Shriver, she became the first volunteer to launch a Special Olympics-based service effort in Jamaica. She led efforts to establish Special Olympics programs in Jamaica until the organization then hired her to establish new Special Olympics programs throughout the Caribbean and in Africa. She has since laid the groundwork for 43 new programs that serve more than 100,000 Special Olympics athletes. According to this recipient, Peace Corps and the Special Olympics are very similar. Both work with volunteers in countries throughout the world, promoting hope, change, and fulfillment to everyone they touch. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate Kathryn Davies Clark. Our final recipient of the John F. Kennedy Service Awards is presented today to a former U.S. Marine, sports enthusiast, and founder of a nonprofit agency. He began his Peace Corps service in Venezuela in 1962. Assigned to a barrio in Caracas, this Chicago native taught baseball, basketball, and other sports at the YMCA. He was later assigned to a fishing village where he continued his sports programs and formed lifelong relationships with Venezuelans. In 2002, then retired, he met former Chicago White Sox shortstop, you can tell I'm a Cubs fan, Chico Carrasquel, and the pair together launched the Chico Carrasquel Foundation to help underprivileged children in Venezuela and the United States. Today, Los Chicos de Chico buses transport barrio youngsters to YMCA centers, museums, ball games, and historical places throughout Venezuela, while also providing scholarships, toy distributions, and musical training for poor children. Starting this summer, the organization will also begin taking American kids on domestic bus trips to visit museums and historical sites throughout our country. This award recipient insists that his accomplishments show nothing but his gratitude for being born in the USA, on a street called Greenwood, in a neighborhood called Kenwood, in a great city called Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Carroll Jaycox. What a lineup, ladies and gentlemen, the 2011 John F. Kennedy Service Award winners.